WNBA owners are moving along with business. They're not entertaining these games with the WNBPA. We got to break this down. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, and hype the video. Let's get right into this here first. The WNBA issued a statement. All right.
The WNBA owners have set a deadline of January 20th for key player designations. They are not waiting for the players' union to resolve the issue. The league discreetly called each general manager and informed them of the same thing as the WNBPA erupted in public declarations regarding revenue distribution methods. Go ahead and plan your free agency. Make contact with your targets. Prepare your offers. With or without a new CBA in place, we are proceeding. This isn't how the players' union expected this negotiation to go. Furthermore, the difference between these two strategies highlights a crucial aspect of who has real power in this circumstance.
To this, our priority is a deal that significantly increases players' salaries. That is the key thing. That is where these two is different. The WNBA said our priority is a deal that significantly increases players' salaries, enhances the overall player experience, and supports long-term growth of the league for current and future generations of players and fans. Now, I want you to remember that very first part. Our priority is a deal that significantly...
Go over that cue once again. A deal that greatly raises player compensation is our top priority. The WNBA ownership group stated as much in their formal statement. And because this is what they're actually saying, it's the most crucial statement in the entire negotiation. We've already done that. The owners offered contracts with a maximum value of $1.3 million. They suggested mid-tier compensation of $550,000. $250,000 is the starting price for rookie deals. These are noteworthy increases. Enormous increases in comparison to the CBA that expired. However, the players' union statements make no mention of pay hikes. Their only concern is the percentage of revenue share. And because of this gap, rather than commemorating a new agreement, we are currently in a state of status quo.
The players are key. If you go look at the WNBPA statement, they are talking about this new revenue sharing model. They're not talking about increased salaries. They want rev share that they feel like would not happen without the players and yada, yada, yada. That is where these two parties, there's a major disconnect. That's where there's a major disconnect. Now, the WNBA front office has let's get to this.
Annie Castable, a sports writer for the front office, explained the legal implications of this status quo. The WNBA is required by U.S. labor law to uphold the terms of the expired CBA while talks are ongoing. This implies that core designations, qualifying offers, and all other common free agency procedures are still in effect. Until a new agreement is approved, they continue to operate under the previous pay system. Just 1 hour before Friday's midnight deadline, the league suggested a moratorium to the union, a total halt to all free agency operations until the CBA is completed. It was rejected by the union. Because the real numbers will change once the new CBA is finalized, we are currently in a strange limbo where teams can send offers that no one will sign. However, this is the owner's calculated move. Teams are being instructed to initiate the discussions nonetheless. Determine who wants to travel where. Obtain statements of commitment. Create the framework because things will move quickly once this CBA is signed. The first expansion draft is for Portland and Toronto. Free agency then takes effect right away. Time is of the essence.
In your free agents and all of this stuff should be set up by January 11th from what I read. Here we go. When the clock strikes midnight on Friday night, it already happened, the third deadline in negotiations between the WNBA and WNBPA for a new collective bargaining agreement will have come and gone with no deal. The league won't turn into a pumpkin, but negotiations will enter a period of status quo. That means both sides can continue negotiating while maintaining the conditions of the current CBA. Under U.S. labor law, the WNBA has a status quo.
The players' union is playing checkers while the owners are playing chess. Consider the situation this places the WNBPA in. They believed they had power. They believed that a new CBA was necessary for the league to operate. The ownership would be forced to comply with their demands for revenue sharing, but the owners simply called that bluff. Teams begin contacting free agents on January 11. Core designations are expected on January 20. Basketball is still a business. Contracts are still required for players. Teams still have rosters to fill. Players still need to be drafted by the expansion teams. Just because the union wants to wait for a fairer revenue split doesn't mean that any of that will stop. Here's what makes this especially troublesome for the players. They don't agree on what they genuinely desire. Superstars like Absha Wilson stand to gain the most from increasing their individual compensation. Then there are role players who are more concerned with improving minimum contracts and lifting the salary floor. In theory, everyone wins from the revenue sharing debate, but in reality, the stars stand to gain the most from a percentage of revenue approach.
Like, look, man, we got to keep business moving. Okay. Let's get ahead of some things here. Let's not wait. You guys can proceed as usual. This is what they're on. The same sources told Front Office Sports they viewed going through the motions of free agency without a CBA in place as pointless. Under the expired CBA, qualifying offers including core designations, which grants teams exclusive negotiating rights to a player under the tag, could be sent out no later than January 20.
The WNBPA's public remarks give the impression that ownership is undervaluing them. Therefore, let's discuss what the owners actually offered. A $1.3 million maximum salary represents a 160% increase from the current $241,984 max under the expired CBA. The suggested $550,000 mid-tier contracts are more than twice as much as what the majority of seasoned players now earn. First-year players would make more money than many current All-Stars if rookie wages increased to $250,000. These are not little rises. The owners are proposing this fundamental reorganization of the whole pay system while the league is still losing money. As of now, the WNBA has not made a profit. For 27 years, the NBA has provided operational subsidies. Indeed, the league is expanding. Indeed, the ratings have increased. Indeed, sponsorship agreements are growing. However, growth and profitability are not the same. The NBA's revenue sharing model, in which players receive roughly half of basketball-related earnings, is what the players' union wants. On the surface, that seems reasonable until you consider that the WNBA does not yet have basketball-related revenue to distribute. They have NBA subsidies, investment cash, and future income projections predicated on the Caitlin Clark effect. Revenue that doesn't exist cannot be divided.
Baseline things in order, even though the actual number can't be agreed upon, because once the new CBA is signed, that number, that financial number will change, but at least they have the opportunity to see, hey, who wants to go where, who's willing to commit where, who's feeling froggy and interested in certain markets. That way it will, because free agency, everything is going to be condensed now. So everything's going to be moving fast. So they figure, hey, if we can get some things going now.
See what transpired on that league call to general managers. It was an obvious message. These games are not entertaining to us. In a statement, the WNBPA accused ownership of seeking to stifle players' earning potential, negotiating in bad faith, and failing to recognize player value. In response, the owners instructed teams to carry on with business as normal. It's not panic. That is self-assurance. And it's assurance supported by legal standing. The league is not taking advantage of the status quo period. It is the actual way that labor legislation operates. Both parties may continue to operate under the provisions of the prior agreement while negotiating a new one if a CBA expires without a replacement. The distinction is that while the union is making public declarations about values and justice, the owners are actually making good use of this time.
Everybody won't feel so rushed, even though it is going to be rushed. But hey, the owners are trying to move forward. They responded with a statement. They're already contacted every team and told them January 11th, start contacting the free agents you're going to be interested in. By the 20th, whatever players you are going to tag or whatever, or protect or whatever, go ahead and get that in, and we're moving on. So that's what it is right now, man. The players look crazy right now. Players look crazy. They thought they had so much damn leverage, man. This is wild.
This is a reality check. The players' union must be informed. Whether they're prepared or not, free agency is on the horizon. The expansion draft is underway. Camps for training will open. The 2025 season will begin on schedule. In order to get compensation, players must sign contracts, which will be negotiated within the parameters set forth by the owners. Individual players will eventually make their own judgments based on their unique circumstances, regardless of how long the union holds out for income sharing. Because the union wants to battle for a percentage point of future earnings, a player who has been earning $150,000 won't turn down a $500,000 offer. In the real world, this doesn't operate that way. The proprietors are aware of this. They are moving forward with confidence because of this. They are instructing teams to begin making bids on January 11th because of this. They're forcing the union's hand. Accept the enormous pay raises we're offering, or watch as your members sign under the outdated CBA terms while you continue to fight for a concept that doesn't currently translate into real money.
Players look crazy right now. Players look crazy. They thought they had so much damn leverage, man. This is wild, man. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. This is Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel.
What does this mean for us now? The deadline for the CBA was Friday at midnight. No agreement, no moratorium, no extension. Just a time of status quo that is far more advantageous to ownership than to players. Due of the league's extraordinary expansion, the WNBA believed they had leverage. Record ratings were achieved during Caitlin Clark's debut season. Everyone's attendance was higher. Deals for sponsorship are coming in. All of above is accurate, but when bargaining from a position of financial dependence, growth does not equate to leverage. More than any one player, the league depends on the players. That's true, but it's cruel. Before Caitlin Clark arrived, the WNBA endured and expanded for 27 years.